show on the Food Network called Kid in the Candy Store, where you travel around the U.S. in search of the most outrageous sweets. Tell me about some of the places you visited and the desserts you encountered while doing the show.
Let's see, some real standouts. We have, of course, the Creole Creamery, which we did on our first episode that you saw. That was amazing. Some great ice cream and things like that. Really bizarre ice creams. Let's see. Oh, also the snowballs. Have you ever heard of snowballs that they have in Louisiana? They're kind of like snow cones, but not really. And yeah, they're basically sort of like snow cones, but made with super fine ice that's actually like snow that you could ski on. And they have all these different kind of flavors, but the big difference is that they'll put sweetened condensed milk on a lot of them. So they've got this creamy, fruity, icy kind of thing going on. Those were pretty amazing. I thought it was really wild to get to go to the M&M's factory in Cleveland, Tennessee, and see how the new pretzel M&M's are made firsthand, from the actual bag of pretzels to watching them go through chocolate tumblers and then the candy coating, and I got to help put on the candy coating. And I mean, M&M's are just such icons. To see how that process happens is just wild. Place in Chicago called iCream. This is an ice cream place where they make individual ice cream flavors to order using liquid nitrogen, any flavor you can imagine with any milk you can imagine. So if you want soy milk, flavored toasted marshmallow and colored blue, they make that for you instantly. And you see the liquid nitrogen going in, and you've got instant ice cream in your face. That was pretty wild. And another one of my favorites was Las Paletas in Nashville, Tennessee, which are these they're basically ice pops, and I guess they're really popular in Mexico. That's where paletas come from. And they're made with just whatever fresh fruits they have. So they're all completely fresh, just pureed into a pop form, and some of them are made with cream too. So they're kind of like ice cream flavors, but they'll do something with hibiscus, which is almost like a cranberry flavor. They did one with rose petals, where they actually pureed rose petals in an ice cream base and froze them into a pop. And that was just great. That shop was just great. They're just really light, and you could eat 10 of them. And people were just hovering outside the shop, getting one, going back in, grabbing another, grabbing another.
Oh, cool. So my 7-year-old daughter wanted me to ask you if your job is fun or if it's a lot of work.
It's both. I mean, it's definitely a lot of work because you're shooting all day. They're really, really long days, I mean, you're shooting from 7 in the morning till 6, 7 at night. And, you have to, as far as the eating goes, it's fun, but then, when you have to keep doing it, sometimes you get really, really full. And then, you have to keep eating it like it's the first time every time. So, but I would say, is it more fun or more work? It's definitely more fun. I mean, I'm pretty lucky to get to do that kind of thing. But you also have to, the other side of it is, if you're eating all that ice cream and all those desserts, you have to pay for it. So you have to exercise 3 times as hard, constantly running or trying to go to a gym in between. And, I'm no athlete by any stretch, so I'm literally training to eat. I run to eat. There'll never be a 6-pack of abs on me. I'm just trying to, stay on this side of obese.
So, has Kid in the Candy Store inspired you to create some type of barbecue dessert?
Yeah, well, I've been doing a lot of barbecue desserts. I think recently, what was the last thing we did? We did, grilled pound cake with grilled peaches and ice cream. So kind of like a warm barbecue dessert. Yeah, definitely. I mean, so many great fruits are great on the grill, and you can, obviously you don't smoke them in the same way that you would smoke meats, but as far as direct grilling, I mean, that's a great way to do desserts. Obviously the ultimate barbecue dessert is the s'more, which is an art form to make, I mean, I perfectly believe there's one of our episodes that we just did, we had s'mores cupcakes, and I'm very big about the way you toast the marshmallow. You gotta toast the marshmallow really slowly so it gets nice and golden brown and it's totally melted on the inside. And some people just like to torch them up, and I think that's the lazy way. I think, you don't want to just be torching your marshmallow.
Now, I heard that you sold out and you moved from the East Coast to the West Coast a few years back.
Yeah, pretty much what I started doing, which is funny because I'm such an East Coast guy, and I've been spending a lot of time in New York. Recently, I was working on this new cooking channel show, After Party, and I got to be back in New York. But California's great. It's very nice. Obviously, the weather is cool. The reason I moved out here is when I started taping Kid in a Candy Store, that show had me on the road, so it really didn't matter where you lived. And the production company was out here. And I kind of figured whatever was going to happen with that show, I wanted to try to stay doing the TV thing, and now is the time to pursue it. So if I stayed in Philly and that show didn't work out, I'd be like, where would I be? I'd be in Philadelphia, and that's not really the place to jump on the next opportunity. So it worked out really well because the production company I've been working with now, O'Malley Productions, that did Kid in a Candy Store, they did Extreme Sweets, as well as 3 specials I did on Fine Living Network. They were out here, so I think my, convenience has been helpful for that, for career reasons. And to be honest, I've spent much more time on the road than I have in California, so it's kind of nice. When you're not working, it could be worse than coming back to Venice Beach, California.
Now, can you get a decent bagel out in California, or is New York still up to that?
You cannot get a decent bagel in California, and I don't even try. I don't even bother. It's like I try not to lament the things that I can have here. California's got enough great things. I'll enjoy the sushi and incredible Mexican food, and I'll save my bagel when I go to New York, As soon as I go to New York, I'm going to be hitting Essa Bagel, or H&H or one of the great, delis, and I'll have, bagels piled with lox and cream cheese. That's, one of my favorite breakfasts in the world is, bagel, cream cheese, scrambled eggs, and lox together with, scallions. Oh, that's amazing. Smoked fish. My heritage is Jewish, and I think, some of the best food that we have is definitely what we call the appetizing, like the smoked fish, the lox, all that stuff, not so much the brisket and the boiled chicken and all that stuff, but, the smoked fish is as good as it gets. That's the stuff.
Now, you spent some time in Philly, so who's your favorite, Pat's, Geno's, or Jim's for a cheesesteak?
For a cheesesteak, I usually found myself going to Pat's, only because there were some specific reasons. Like Geno's, they had good cheese fries. So you can get your steak at Pat's and then go to Geno's for cheese fries. But my favorite sandwich there was probably I love the hoagies with the chicken cutlets on them and broccoli rabe and provolone cheese. That's really my favorite kind of Philly sandwich.